literally in a nanosecond. It was like I could feel myself being drawn and pulled in, but like I was falling at the same time. You're starting fresh in a tough environment, which is stacked against you, but it's stacked against you for a very good reason. We here on planet Earth, we all have a God spark, that connection back to source. It's in our hearts, in the stargate of our heart, and it's the biggest kept secret of humanity. So I wanted to jump in and just share with you a little bit about a planet called Bevericon, which is in the constellation of Boots. And I remember going back several years, I was writing a book called The Vortex of Consciousness. And I didn't actually complete that book. It still sat there on my laptop several years later, and I've written 2 books since that and published them. When I was writing The Vortex of Consciousness, I was sat there at my laptop and I'm staring at the computer screen. And then all of a sudden, everything sort of becomes pixelated and vibrational. And it was like I got sucked through the computer screen, literally in a nanosecond. It was like I could feel myself being drawn and pulled in, sucked in, but like I was falling at the same time forwards, and I fell through the screen. And literally within a millisecond, I was on a bridge, a grass bridge. And I stood up and I looked up back to where I thought the computer was, because I'd just gone through it, right? And there was no computer, there was just sky. And there was this kind of like, it looked like stone, like about a meter or so high, like the side of a stone bridge with these small pillars. On the left was the same. And there was water running underneath this bridge. And I looked forwards onto this big open grassy space, and there were children, and some of them were walking, some of them were in the air. They had these like rings of light, these halos around their heads. They had these crystals hovering in front of their foreheads, and they were chucking balls of light. They were jumping in the air, like walking through the empty space, running, doing somersaults. And they could see me, because as I walked up and past them, they looked at me. So I knew that they saw me in this dimensional space. I was told I was on this planet called Bevericon, which was like an Arcturian planet, and it's a planet where a lot of beings go when they are traveling through different planetary systems, and they have to shift or upgrade or downgrade their dimensional fields or their energetics in some way, shape or form, so that they can either detox or recalibrate before going somewhere else. It's like an intermediary place, and it's also a place where there's lots of healing chambers and places like this, temple spaces where beings from all over the galaxy come to heal. There was this kind of castle type construct that I saw over to my right, so I walked towards it, and it looked like it was made from some kind of stone from a distance. But as I got closer, it was solid and it looked solid, but at the same time, you could put your hands into the kind of brickwork. It was made from some kind of high frequency material. And I went up to the door. There was a door into this place, and I'm walking up to the door, and the door opened, but it didn't like open like a door on hinges. It kind of dissolved. And it was like the door recognized my frequency and dissolved when I got there. And I've experienced many kind of situations like this where I've been in meditation, I've been journeying, traveling, and I've gone either on my own or with groups of people that I'm guiding on these long galactic journeys. We may go up to a door in a temple, and this frequency comes out from the door. Sometimes it radiates into your pineal gland like a laser. Sometimes it penetrates your heart. And what it does, it kind of decodes you or reads your blueprint and then gives you access. So this door gave me access, and on the other side of the door was this female, what looked like a beautiful being, a humanoid. Looked completely human, really, with long gingery hair. And the lady, or this being, told me her name was Gian Treva, and her hair, pieces of it would fall to the ground, like this beautiful bright ginger, these locks. But when the locks of hair hit the ground, they would turn into these kind of little fairy-like beings, or these little pixies, and they'd climb back up her hair and integrate again. And she asked me to follow her. And she took me down this corridor We went in through this door to the left and up a spiral staircase, through another door, down another spiral staircase, and we ended up in this kind of what was like a courtyard, and there was a wizard there. And it was like a classroom. There were loads of these young beings with the halos and the crystals, and I don't even know how old they are because they all looked like really old and wise, but very young in their complexion. They were being taught by this wizard. So I got to sit down and just kind of observe this whole classroom construct unfolding in front of me. And I've led many guided meditations to Bevacon since, and we've been to different healing chambers. We've been to these kind of simulation flight schools that they have there. It's an amazing, amazing space. The reason I'm sharing this story is to tell you about Bevacon, but at the same time is to try and help you understand when you're traveling, you're not really going anywhere. I mean, I fell through my computer screen and I was in another world. And the distance from me to my computer screen was what? 50 centimeters, 40 to 60 centimeters. It was on the table and I just fell through it and my whole consciousness got sucked through. When I was there, it felt like everything was real, like it was solid and physical, and it was. And my body felt solid and physical, but it wasn't really my body. I was made from some kind of, I was consciousness, but I felt solid as I was walking around. I remember back in 2009 when I got taken to Alpha Centauri, when Derekwai, who is an incredible Lyran being that has been communicating with me non-stop since 2009 and told me to write a book, told me that I'd be building healing centers, and we're in the process of building our first one. I'm kind of taking instructions from these blue beings that call themselves Lyrans that I've become very familiar with now. But this first encounter with Derekwai, I jumped in his spacecraft, brought my consciousness out of my body, went and jumped inside, and they took a part of my consciousness to the other side of this portal where there was a beach and water. And then it was like the rest of me caught up within a few seconds. It was like I went through a portal. But you know, I mean, Alpha Centauri, I don't know how many millions or billions of miles or kilometers away it is in our linear time format construct. But I was there in seconds. It was like, bzzz, my consciousness was there, and then the rest of me caught up, sucked through this kind of portal space. And I was there in his craft above the water by a beach. Now, what happened to my consciousness going through this experience, I assume happened to Derekwai's consciousness and the craft. Maybe it was the craft that took my consciousness through. I'm not 100% sure. But I ended up on the other side. And really the other side wasn't the other side. The other side was a layer of frequency, another dimension in the same space that I was already in. You know, we look at planets and stars as being a long way away. If I have to go from here to New York, from London, and jump on a plane, it's going to take me several hours. So in this linear time construct, in this game that we're playing, this Earth School, this Ascension Boot Camp that we are living and playing, this human game, there is this distance, there's time. But when you jump outside of your body, none of that exists. You can be everywhere at the same time. You can be in multiple dimensional spaces at the same time. You know, you can split the fabric of your own consciousness and go to multi-dimensional spaces. So I could be in a dimension over here, on a planet over here, and be fully aware of everything that's taking place. And if I want to blend back together, I can do. Because everything's not really separate, it's in the same space at the same time. This Earth School that we are on right now is a holographic construct. If you go back to the start, back to the point of the first expansion, whatever you want to call it, when Source, God, infinite intelligence, got a little bit curious and wanted to go out and create. What Source did, what God did, and God isn't a man or a woman, it's not female or male, God is just frequency and intelligence, the all-seeing, all I am, omnipotent. pure energy. This God source intelligence reached into itself and created other elements, other strands, other frequencies, other blueprints, other encoded pieces of energy or fractals of energy that were given instructions to go out and create. And for thousands and millions and billions of years, these creator beings, these creator gods went out into the universe and created planets, galaxies, universes, multiverses. They created and created wonders, which isn't really traveling because there's nowhere to go. You're just accessing different frequency bands where things exist. But it seems like you're traveling. At the same time, it feels like you're bending space at your will to revolve around you and create some kind of field that you can just step into this other reality. But let's just call it traveling for now. When I've traveled, I've been to incredible spaces, beautiful pyramids, octahedral structures, spheres, different dimensional spaces that have forms that I have no name for. And these places are beautiful. When I've been traveling, I've been to universes and galaxies that are completely dark. There's no consciousness, there's no light, there's no love, there's no true prime creator essence. There's no God spark. We here on planet Earth, we all have a God spark, that connection back to source. It's in our hearts, in the stargate of our heart, and it's the biggest kept secret of humanity. But we can dive into our heart, travel through that diamond spark, which is actually a multi-dimensional Merkaba field, a 12-pointed star or a stellated dodecahedron. And when the 10 tetrahedrons that make up this stellated dodecahedron revolve, the 5 top ones clockwise and the 5 bottom ones anti-clockwise, they create the 13th, the whole. Each one of those points links into a DNA strand. Each one of those points links into a transmission center, or what some people would call a multidimensional chakra. Each one of these points links into a stargate. So the 12 points on the 12-pointed star link into the 12 elements of the DNA, the stargate system, these different elements of reality. But actually, when these tetrahedrons spin, they create the whole, which is the number 13. These 12 stargates, when they're fully operational and the mathematics are correct, you create the whole, which encompasses all 12 stargates. And in this kind of time construct, this human ascension school construct, you would see the stargates in different locations around the planet. But actually, they're all in the same space at the same time, surrounded by the 13th, the whole. Even our DNA is supposed to be a 13-strand blueprint, and it links back to the 13 moons, the 13 cycles of the woman, which is the feminine frequency. Because if you go back to prime creator, I mean, it's not masculine or feminine, but if you had to say that it was more like one than the other, you'd have to say that it was feminine, because feminine is the creative force. The womb in the woman, the womb, the cosmic womb in the man, is the creative energy. The feminine is the magic. The masculine, the male, is electrical. So the electrical can go out and create, but it can't do it without the creative juices of the feminine. So when you get the electrical and the magnetic pulsing together, working in divine union, then you've cracked the code, or a main piece of the code, because you've also got the Trinity to bring into play. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is the feminine. The Father is God, which isn't really a father, but we call it the Father in this human construct. And the sons aren't really sons. The sons are creator beings. And the reason we came to Earth School, to Ascension Boot Camp, is to remember how to be creator beings, how to be creator beings, creator gods, so we can go out and build new super universes. So if we rewind a little bit and go back to when source intelligence pulled its own fractals, or pulled pieces of its own essence out and created fractalized geometry, fractalized code, which went out and created other universes, other galaxies, other planets, etc. It went on and on and on and on. And all of these creator beings were given blueprints. And the whole universal construct was created off of these very specific, mathematically encoded blueprints. But all of these creator beings had free will. And when you give something free will, you have to honor that. I remember my children, when I pulled them out of school and told them I was going to homeschool them, I told them they could do what they wanted. And I'll tell you what, it was a rough ride. It turned out amazing in the end because they really found themselves. They really connected to the truth, and they are supersonic, powerful humans, sovereign in every right. But the process we had to go through, the three of us, was intense because they went down this path and went down that path. Again, they got up to all sorts of mischief. And I had to sit back and watch, and it was a killer at times. But I had to accept the fact that I decided to give them free will, which was a little bit like God, infinite intelligence, giving these creator beings free will. Some of these creator beings changed the blueprint, and they built things that became disconnected from the prime creator energy, from that original God source intelligence, that diamond flame, that God spark, that love. And you know, when you hit a golf ball and it's 1 degree off, it doesn't seem much at first, but by the time you get down the fairway, it's spun right out. You can imagine creating with a different blueprint. You start creating planets, galaxies. You don't notice too much. And then you create universes and multiverses, and you start to notice a crack in the code. But they've got free will. And you can offer guidance, like I did my children. But they chose to do what they wanted to do. And in the end, they had to find their own way, and they did. And a lot of these creator beings, they found their way back to source, but some of them didn't. And they became very detached, totally detached, some of them, from God source intelligence. And they created constructs that had no God spark. And there are still many of them scattered throughout the multi-dimensional playing fields now. And they're dark as dark can be. This Earth school is one of the Christed planets. There are 12 Christed planets, all with the God spark. But some of them have they're dwindling. You know, the God spark in some of these planets in some fallen universes is dark. We think it's bad here. It's pretty crazy in some other places too. But the game here, the school here, the variation here, the contrast here, the dualistic nature here, makes Earth one of the best training camps in the whole universe. We're the only beings that have got free will. And we're the only planet that is completely connected to that Christed God spark energy. And that's why it's the biggest kept secret from humanity. It's why our attention is taken external all the time. Because when our attention is taken externally, we don't go within. And so we forget. We forget that this is home. We forget that this is where the true magic happens. We were gifted with something incredible, but most of us don't know it because we're always looking externally for help over here or help over there, or we're trying to create this in the future, but we're very rarely present. This present moment is the best gift you can give yourself. We came to Earth for many reasons. To learn, to grow, to remember, to find our way back home. We came here to help rehabilitate Earth and help Earth on her own ascension, and to raise our frequency and go through this ascension process with her. But we also came here to train. They don't just let anyone onto planet Earth. You gotta be a Jedi Knight to get down here. So you should give yourself a massive pat on the back and know that you are a supersonic, multi-dimensional galactic warrior. Otherwise, they would not have let you in. They wouldn't have opened the gates and said, here you go. When you come down to this planet, your memory gets blank slated. You have no recall. You're starting fresh in a tough environment, which is stacked against you. But it's stacked against you for a very good reason. is stacked against you to toughen you up. It's stacked against you to help you grow. It's stacked against you to help you remember your innate abilities in a chaotic environment that is full of trickery, that is full of manipulation, where there are many low frequency beings that feed off of your energy if you let them. You're in a construct that teaches you to hand your power over so you never find your God spark. And you knew this. And you still signed up for it. When they said, who wants to go? You said, me. I did too. And we're down here on this planet. And I know sometimes we think, what the fuck did we sign up for this shit for? But when we make it through, when we find our way back home and we remember how to recode our own mathematics, how to switch on that 13 code and move through these Stargate systems up into the God worlds and get a good glimpse of this whole construct from the outside. When we lift our sisters and brothers up and we all go on this journey back home, which is gonna happen. It's happening, it's happened. Because there is no past, present and future. There's just now. Once we all switch into that vibrational space and we're there, there's going to be a huge celebration. There's going to be a massive party. Probably the biggest celebration the universe has ever seen, when billions of souls are all together outside of this construct. Boy, it's going to be incredible. It's going to be an eternity to remember. I'm looking forward to it. Are you? Are you looking forward to it? Are you up for it? Are you ready? Are you ready to dive into this God spark and play in the multidimensional playing fields? To understand the true nature of reality? To find your way back to love? To love your sisters and brothers fiercely and ferociously through all the chaos and all of the mayhem, all of the murder, all of the blood, all of the bombings, all of the torture, all of the rape, all of the suicide, all of the hatred, all of the fear. Can you open your heart, forgive yourself, forgive everyone else, and love in the face of the most incredible adversity, knowing that it's there as part of this game to help you grow? If you want to become the best pilot, you go to Top Gun flight school. If you want to be the best fighter in the world, the best mixed martial artist, you go and fight in the UFC. If you want to be the best American footballer, you go and play in the NFL. You don't settle for second best. That's why you're on planet Earth. Because you've got the minerals, you've got the juice, you've got the capability, the determination, the stamina, the courage to choose love over fear every single time. And by doing that, you shred this third dimensional, fourth dimensional matrix. And you switch gears and you move up the vibrational ladder. Through those vibrational corridors, you can switch out of your body. You can switch back into your body. You can choose to be in other bodies if you want, using that old, ancient halls of Amenti architecture. It's all about frequency. Your frequency gives you access. And the only thing stopping you raising your energy levels is by being in these low frequency emotions like guilt, anger, fear, separation, jealousy. Separation consciousness is one of the biggest tools that is used against us. And at the same time, it's one of the biggest tools that toughens us. Because when you move from separation consciousness into unity consciousness, you're 90% of the way there. Love and acceptance fill up the other 10%. Or maybe love and acceptance is the 90 and the unity consciousness is the 10. I'm just trying to put measurements on something you can't measure. There is no measurement. But it helps us explain things sometimes in this human world. But words are also so limited. So limited. One of the other codes that was weaved into our fabric during the fall of consciousness was the worship code. And that's one of the biggest things that we have to dismantle. We worship different books and gods, hierarchical systems, different deities, entities, handing our power over to something else that isn't us. Nothing is more intelligent than you or me. You in your reality, me in my reality. As a family, we're equal. But you are the master alchemist. You are the sacred architect. You are the quantum engineer. The white witch, the white wizard, the sovereign soldier. You are alchemy, walking inside a human body. And you can change reality at will. With your electrical and your magnetic components, your thoughts and your emotions. You can also create a complete and utter mess with them too. But you can create massive firepower and beautiful things with that massive firepower. You're a Jedi, and you are upskilling and upgrading to a new level of Jedi. You are remembering how to be a creator being that can go out and build new super universes. Just like those original creator beings that were fractalized out from source intelligence. You're part of that. So am I. We're all one. There is no separation, it's illusory. We all came from the same place, from the same source. And we're all experiencing each other, reflections. In this crazy Ascension boot camp. You gotta laugh, you gotta treat it as a game, you gotta have fun. Because if you take it too seriously, you'll get lost. You gotta find the balance, man. Take that middle road. No dark, no lights. Equilibrium. Pulling the dark and the light into the 0 point. Then you know it. You know it. You don't believe it anymore. Believing's for amateurs. Believing is a stepping stone into knowing. Not every soul wants to come to this planet because they know how tough it is. And not every soul is allowed in, even the ones that want to come. Because most of the ones that come here get stuck and they get recycled over and over and over. Syntaxed. Leaving the body, coming back into another one, leaving the body, coming back into another one. Like Groundhog Dog Day, over and over and over. But consciousness is rising on the planet. Our levels of awareness are increasing massively, and we're remembering that we're Stargate Guardians. Galactic avatars in these human bodies that came to blaze a new trail, or maybe an old trail, for humanity to step onto and rebirth this earth back to its crysted structure, connected to God's source intelligence, so this beautiful mother of ours can rebirth in all her glory and support us even better as her children. You know, when the children are young, the mum looks after them, but as the mother gets older, the favor has to be reversed. The tables turn. It's time for us to look after our celestial mother. She's treated us so well. She's looked after us. She's fed us, clothed us, and watered us. The sun keeps shining. We never have to ask it. This construct is a crazy tough construct, but it's also a magical one. We get to experience so many things in this physical body. Taste amazing foods, make love, engage in certain activities that you can't on other planets. It's amazing. Be grateful for this experience. The more grateful you are, the more magnetism you'll produce. And then, With a clear and concise focus, you can engage your electrical energy and you can manifest and create and live out this story and ride the most incredible timeline back to source. I'll see you there. We're already there, drinking cosmic champagne. The music's loud. Wherever you are on this planet, beautiful soul, know that you are incredible, phenomenal, powerful beyond measure. You are sovereign. Don't let anyone ever take your sovereignty from you. Never hand your power over. Never hand your power over to anything external. Don't believe a word that comes out of my mouth. Question everything. Feel the information. Either cast it away or know it is your truth. The heart never, ever lies. Remember to check out our website, starmagichealing.org. We got some of the best ascension tools on the planet. Meditations, light language transmissions, light codes, cosmic yoga, hundreds of mystery school teachings, breath work, high frequency nutrition, everything you need to be a high frequency being in these physical bodies. We got a private Telegram group, so you can go and meet and connect with beautiful souls just like you on this same vibration. Souls that have this same soul mission to find their way back home and bring their fellow sisters and brothers with them so we can celebrate in the God worlds, beyond this 15th dimensional time matrix, beyond these 12 stargates encompassed within the whole, the 13th, the goddess, the womb. It's a magical experience. You get free access now for 7 days to all of these tools. So go to starmagichealing.org and check it out. And if you want to train with the most powerful healing frequency on planet Earth, come to our level 1 training. Be the best move you ever make. I love you. As my sister or brother, you're amazing. I'll see you in the ethers, see you on another planet somewhere. Start bending space. Start bending reality. Start being the alchemist, the quantum architect that you came to Earth to be. The world is waiting for you to share your gifts and your talents, your magic, your love. It's awesome. It's flipping awesome. I'll see you again real soon, beautiful soul. One love, one heart, one human family. Peace out.